everybody. We're all here. Um, I think we're waiting on Doug.
Hello.
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 Hi.
Hola.
Doug and Eric, it is so good to have you here. We are all just really excited to talk to you about this. And we really expect to do mostly listening because we want to hear what you guys are going to tell us about this project.
Hello?
Yes, there you are, both of you.
All right. Hi. Sorry about that. Just at the ICO Forward conference in New York and had to jump on from my phone.
Well, that is just awesome of you. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us.
Such a pleasure. Thanks so much for inviting us to. So along with Eric and myself, we also have the alien here who is a key member of the project as well. So just we're all really happy to be here.
Outstanding. We basically what we want to know is of course we want to know all about the project. I've been following on Steemit. I don't know much about the storyline yet. That I don't think you guys have released any of that, but I have been following it and watching and getting excited because I think it's a great idea.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And just the opportunity to talk with you about this and find out if there's anything that we can do. I mean, I would love to get involved anywhere from promotion to, you name it. You tell us what we can do to help and get involved.
Amazing. So just to give you a little bit of an idea of kind of where we're at so far, we have been developing the project for quite a few months now, and it's been going amazingly well. We just finished 5 days of production. Am I coming in clear, by the way?
You are until you didn't. You were talking. You said you just finished 5 days of putt, and that's all we got.
So yeah, the app. I got a notification. So we just finished 5 days of production on a teaser trailer to give an idea of what this world is and start to play in the world a little bit and be able to really showcase what we're up to, which we premiered at Steamfest. As GMux knows, we met out there, and so very excited to have that ready and in the can. And so that's something we can certainly share with all of you. We're still working on it a little bit, just finalizing a few more shots. What we showed at Steamfest was about 90% there, and we're about 95% now. So getting close. But basically, yeah, like our roadmap now is that we're just beginning the process of fundraising. So we've got this amazing teaser, what we think is we're very happy with this teaser trailer. The project is all ramped up and ready to go to that next stage to really get some financing to make what we hope to be 10 60 or 10 hour long episodes of Hardfork for the first season. So that's where we are right now, and we're developing the entire arc of that 10 episode arc of the season. And yeah, and so basically we're still early stages, but we're cranking along really quickly, and it's coming together beautifully. So in terms of getting you all involved, we've been chatting with the team internally and talking about different ideas for how we could get everybody in your amazing community into the mix. And we've had a few thoughts. One is the possibility of doing something called a 3-page challenge, where we would have members of the community write 3 pages, ideally script formatted, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. We can sort of set the parameters to that together, and get some writing around a scene or two that we can kind of help formulate and talk about what characters could be involved in it, and just get that in to sort of get a sense of like who kind of really connects with the material, and we could get involved on the writing side. Um, so that's one possible route that we thought of, and then certainly you're talking about promotion. It'd be wonderful to figure out ways that we can kind of like dovetail folks into what we're doing on the promotion side, and so there's a lot of avenues. It's what we're planning is ideally a seven season series that we would be working on for many years, and a game that goes along with that we would release in year 2 or 3. So tons of material, and so this is a wealth of highly, really in the world that we're with Hardfork, what we're creating. All of you understand that world, I think, to some extent, and some folks really understand the crypto world that we're all either very involved in or tangentially involved in. So pushing that forward to 2029, I think there's a lot of sort of like futuristic predictions that are going into this stuff, and it's been a lot of fun to work on so far. So I'll stop pushing to talk for a second, and anyone can jump in.
That sounds wonderful. The 3-page challenge is right up our alley. I mean, that's we do a lot of things like that. We, of course, some of us are into prose, so we do the flash pieces and the short pieces, and we, do a lot of contests. And then I know this is not a contest, but what I'm saying is it's the same type of format. It's putting forth your best to see if it, if you fit the prompt, and so that made me start taking notes when you said that.
Amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah, I think that could be a lot of fun, and we can work together to structure it a little bit so that we can sort of talk about what kind of scenes might make sense in terms of, like, maybe we have one that's a little more action oriented, one that's a little more dramatic, and we can kind of give some parameters and show anyone who's interested in doing this. We can sort of like sneak you a peek at the teaser trailer, which I think gives a really good lay of the land about what the parameters of this thing are and what this world kind of looks and feels like. So that could be a great way to kind of give you all a primer that's not necessarily something we're releasing out to the entire ecosystem yet. We will be soon, but we've got a lot of exciting developments that we're working towards. So we're sort of trying to figure out the best way to kind of like parse things out, and this might be a really cool way to get you all involved in a sort of like little more sneak peek behind the scenes-y way.
That would be thrilling. That would be amazing. And I don't think any of us have huge expectations or anything like that. We've we've all been chit-chatting about this, but
Wonderful.
I think it's just the opportunity to it's multifold. I'm stumbling over my words because there's so much to say. It's multifold because we're huge Steemit supporters and backers. We love Steemit. We want to do anything that we can to try to promote it, to, of course, raise the value of Steam on the market, but to get more mainstream people involved in that. And that's one reason we're sort of doing the thing with the publishing house. We're working on starting the publishing house, Steam House Publishing, to when we get novels that are worth investing more time in and editing, because we have a full complement of editors here too.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah, so I mean, we're really fortunate what we have in this group. I've never really seen anything like it since I've been writing, but to get it's a hybrid publishing company that sort of splits the difference between the top 5 and self-publishing, because these authors will not be self-published, but they'll still be independent. They won't be on a major imprint.
Right.
And yeah, and so we will try to promote and provide the means to do some of the promotion that the top 5 can within the industry. And it's all to, we can't brand it Steam It, of course, because that's a copyright issue, but it's all to direct people to Steam It and to say this is what is coming out of this community.
Right.
So yeah, I see some parallels here between what our thoughts were and what you guys are doing. And that was the very first thing I noticed when I first started following the project. I was like, oh my gosh, that's mind meld. That's collective consciousness. We're all trying to reach out and put something out into the mainstream that will at the same entertain, but at the same time, it sort of explain why we spend so much time here and what we're doing and why, it might be the community for other people as well. So I see a lot of that, but I mean, also just the aspect of writing, the aspect of film. It's something that I haven't had a lot of exposure to, but I mean, I'm a huge viewer, if that makes any sense. I've been watching Ozark now.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, Chris
because,
is amazing in that, right?
Yes, he is. I'm on, I think, episode 7 now. And so I started.
Love the show.
I know, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, that is where I live. That whole show, the whole premise of the show is exactly like my community, minus the lake and the tourists. It's that crooked and awful, and I'm like, wow, they're killing it here. So anyway, yeah, it's I come at this with no experience and expertise in what you do, but a whole lot of interest, and I think that speaks for most of us. We do have some people who can help. They have enough screenwriting experience and education in screenwriting to, we won't be just completely flopping around, but it's just exciting because this is a new direction, and we're all pretty tickled over it, to be honest.
Wonderful. Well, I'll say a few things to that, which is I think that there's going to be a lot of the way that we're approaching this. There's a lot of opportunities within the sort of like Hardfork universe, and that it's not just the screenwriting side will be a pretty limited writer's room that actually is like sitting down and writing episodes of the show. We're absolutely going to be looking for folks to be a part of that, which is it's super exciting idea that we can find those folks like in your community on Steam It, etc. And then also we're imagining that within the Hardfork universe there's going to be novelizations, there's going to be sort of fan fiction novels that can come through from that, and we're really excited about the possibility of along with the series that we're creating, we're also creating a game, as I mentioned, and all these other sort of like ancillary offerings. And I think that within the sphere of that, there's just a massive amount of potential for collaboration and getting writers involved and sort of building out this bigger story, not just the sort of like main characters of the series itself, but like within the game, like what characters play out in that scenario. So there's a ton of exciting opportunities, I think, and so the fact that your community is rich with great talented writers and editors and people who understand the publishing industry is a wonderful. I think we've got a great opportunity here to do some really fun stuff together.
Oh, I do too. And as you were saying all that, I'm just sitting here getting chills. You're talking about the novels, the novelizations of it, and the fan fiction. And the fan fiction scares me when it's just arbitrary fan fiction. It's people, but when it's fan fiction that's endorsed by the community, oh snap, that's another ball game.
Right?
That's very exciting. So I'm just sitting here, just getting chills hearing about this because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing what you're saying. I do.
Yeah, that's exactly how I imagine it too. And I think our team has talked a lot about like ways to sort of like create an exclusivity and a way to sort of like invite specific parties to create storytelling around this world, which I think it's like we're all operating in this very futuristic environment where we can actually have this kind of discourse on Discord and have this kind of conversation on Steam it just lends itself to so many possibilities to do new and exciting collaborative things that you couldn't do before. So I think that's really where we're coming from, and one of the things we're the most excited about in terms of what Hardfork can be. So this is I think is a perfect fit for us to find some really cool opportunities to work together and start digging into Hardfork together.
Oh, I did too. I mean, I'm just I agree. What we can do, and it will be it will be up to you. You guys let us know when we're to the point that we could or should start doing it. We've been really we've put a lot of focus on branding as far as the writer's block. And if you go on Steam,
Right.
yeah, you'll see our little gifs, with the different channels. And they're not really heavy on graphic art. That's it's just get this information out. Writer's block. You can click the gif and it
Right.
takes them to a thing to tell. And we none of us have, or few of us have a really huge reach, but together we do. And, we started this little tiny group with 20 people, and here we are over 250 members 7 weeks in. And it's because we somehow managed to brand it and get it out there in our feeble little, non Coca Cola or Budweiser budgeting way. We managed to get the word out, to some people. So, it, I would be thrilled to put information that leads back to your blogs and the Hardfork blog and anything like that, because a lot of people still haven't heard of it. I don't know how that's possible, but some people haven't. And I would, whenever you would like us to, I would love to start pointing people back to it so that they will see what's going on.
Amazing. Yeah, that would be wonderful. And I think the more we sort of we can structure this 3-page challenge as a starting point, and then other ways that we can all collaborate. I think there's tons of opportunity for back and forth, cross promotion and getting you all involved I could see multitudes of ways that we could figure out, cool cross branding and, start as you're pushing towards having your publishing brand actually, going public with that and turning that into something that you're putting out entire novels. Like that's an exciting development, I think, for all of us in terms of ways that we could kind of put together some of these offerings and figure out how to put them out. And likewise, as we're creating the series, we can there's going to be, I think, a lot of different angles and opportunities for us to kind of create more opportunity for making things visible. So
yes, I think that's wonderful. So it sounds to me like the first order of business is going to be getting this 3-page challenge underway. And of course, this is something we're going to keep internal, not private, but this is something that we will, talk to our core members about.
Perfect.
And our strongest writers. And, we're not going to try to recruit anyone from the community at this point. We're just going to keep this in-house for now and work on it and try to get some things together. What we would need is the prompt, basically. Just
yes, yeah, exactly. So we provide the teaser trailer and the team. We can start talking about what kinds of scenarios might make the most sense, and we'll start working up a little brief so we can kind of look at that together and decide what the best way to kind of launch it is and talk about it like that.
Yeah, I think showing people the teaser trailer will definitely help. It certainly opened my eyes to the possibilities.
Wonderful.
Well, yeah, and I think we can. I think we can bring a game to the table with that challenge. I really do. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, same here. Really excited. I think it'd be a really fun way to kind of dive right in and start moving some pieces around the board in the kind of imaginary world that we're building out in Hardfork. I think it'd be awesome.
Well, all right. That sounds great. Is anyone in there? We have a lot of people with ears to the speaker here. Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Hey, Doug, Jimitations here.
Hey, Imitations. I was gonna shout out to you directly and just say how much I love your VO sci-fi stories.
Thank you. That's very nice. It's quite a compliment. I was thoroughly impressed. In fact, that is the first thing. Your video is the first thing that I ever saw on Steemit. The one with the misunderstanding with the car and all that. Yeah, that was the first thing Geek ever showed me. She said, watch this, you're gonna crack up.
Oh, nice. So cool. Thank you.
So I guess my question would be, I'm not quite the writer that all these people are, but what can you? I mean, with my what I tend to do is take people's skeletons and flesh them out, and that's why I can do what I do. Somebody else will come up with a concept, and I'll just add a little pinch of ever so much more so, and I just wondered, what could be my contribution other than I guess I can offer my voice services.
Yeah, well, that would be wonderful. I mean, honestly, I think there's all kinds of opportunities to have you jump in and do some voiceover stuff with us. I mean, we've got, even the teaser trailer, we've discussed the possibility of adding some voiceover too. So let's chat about that. I mean, you're a super talent, and I think there's tons of opportunities. So it'd be great to get you in the mix that way, and also shaping storyline.
I was actually thinking of Jimitations when you were talking about the Hardfork game.
Right.
Me too.
I was too.
Totally.
In a world of steam and utensils, the hard fork, I don't know.
Awesome. Amazing. Print it.
Just wanted to jump in there really quick. Doug, my name is Lena. I'm a bit of a writer, screenwriter, etc., but I am also a stunt woman out of
Hi,
Texas.
Lena. How are you?
Hey, great. Thanks for being here, for starters. This is so exciting. I've just been listening in and getting more and more excited as I hear more and more about this.
It's such a pleasure to be here chatting with all of you, and that's so cool. So whereabouts in Texas are you?
Around the Austin area.
I love Austin.
Yeah, cool. And I don't know where you're shooting from or whatnot, but I know a lot of people in the industry, SAG people, non-SAG people. I have experience in motion capture, talking about the video game and whatnot. So if you're ever,
Awesome.
if you're ever needing any sort of stunts, or I heard that you've already signed on a fight choreographer, I could definitely help out with getting stunt people for you.
Amazing. That would be great. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, so far the first 5 days we shot in New York, because that's where I live and got a bunch of production resources here. But our vision for the series is very much to be able to shoot it. New York will probably be a hub certainly, but then to be able to really move around and get some production going in anywhere from Asia to Africa, and certainly around the United States and Europe, and really give a sense of what a sort of a global government would look like and how it would affect people, so that this world really has that broad, large feeling. So that's absolutely something we're really excited about. And the way I always tend to like to work is we do big unit stuff where we've got the full crew and a massive undertaking, which we did 2 days of that on the teaser trailer, and then a lot of more splinter run and gun stuff where we can sort of augment and build out the story that way. So we did 3 days of that on the teaser trailer, where it was a crew of 3, honestly, in a couple of instances, and a couple of actors. So I think that kind of dynamic of, especially these days with the way filmmaking technology and games are, it's so easy to be able to do both those things. So I absolutely will come out to Austin and shoot some cool stuff with you as soon as we start getting our financing and start making the series. That sounds awesome. That'd be really fun.
Excellent, thanks. And well, I can always come out to you, and of course I work for Steam as well, so you might not even need that big of a budget.
Amazing. Well, that's great. Fantastic. Yeah, great to meet you on here and chat a little bit. So yeah, looking forward to continuing that conversation. Let's make it happen. Anyone else have any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, I think the next Steam Fest should be here in Colorado. It's Steamboat.
I have some friends in Steamboat. That sounds good to me.
So I'm not familiar with the storyline either, because I don't think it's out there yet. But it sounds like, just to hear you talk briefly, that there might be some aspects to the story regarding, global governments, maybe their desire to suppress crypto and that sort of thing, the whole corporatist angle, the central bank angle. And so we've got a couple of people here at Writer's Block who sort of focus in on those themes too. But I'm not sure if maybe that's the direction you're going.
No, that's absolutely an aspect of the storyline. So just to give you a super brief idea of what Hardfork is for those who haven't seen some of that material, we are creating a story set in 2029 that is about a guy named Vangelis Misham who works for the CFS, the Central Financial Services, which is basically a militarized IRS that is part of a global government, of an Overwatch, an anonymous government. And in this world, crypto has been outlawed. Trading crypto has been outlawed. The one world central government has their own firewalled digital currency that's hugely devalued, called Liberty Coin. And they are using augmented reality to gamify everything. Everybody who's in this sort of like first world reality, the one world, living under the one world government, in this economic zone that we're going to spend time with Vangelis in. And as I mentioned, there'll be other areas that will be jumping around the world to visit. In that zone, everybody is either has ocular implants that they've gotten. That's just starting in the world of 2029. People are starting to get these ocular implants and being encouraged to do that by the government in a gamified, fun way. And also either that or they're using these goggles, which you'll see in the teaser trailer. But basically, the government is using that to instill a sense of control, and basically, like, through those games, there's actually interesting things going on, like black ops that people are unwittingly engaged in, and as they sort of compete to work for the company store, they more and more craziness ensues, and Vangelis gets tagged by a group of underground dev team developers called the Table of 12, who recognize that he's got a certain biological evolution that he's undergoing that will allow him to get his consciousness onto the blockchain. So and because he works for the CFS, he's got some inside knowledge on how to get his consciousness into their blockchain. So that's where the centralized and decentralized worlds will begin to collide. So that's a little bit of an idea of like where we're coming from.
Well, I've got.
Wow.
I've got.
Wow.
Well, I got. I would like to call those ocular implants the eye patch. But
Oh my goodness.
but how about a character called the Crypto Keeper? Sorry, kiddies, you're Hardfork.
Well, I am very excited about the whole currency aspect of the story, the decentralized, that whole thing. I'm drooling over here.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, I think there's, I think there's so many opportunities to play and have fun within the confines of what we've been coming up with so far. It's just been such a joy already to just kind of like come up with these ideas of how this can all start to come together.
Exciting.
Well, I think we're at a good point. I think we have a good starting point, and my knees are bouncing up and down, just itching to get started on it. So just um, let us know when, where, what. Call a meeting, do whatever, just to kick off that 3-page challenge, and we're on it.
Amazing. All right, fantastic. Well, we'll start working on a brief and get get some material together that we can continue the conversation from there. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you all. Thanks so much for your time today.
Well, thank you so much for coming, and for you took time out of your conference, and that means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to everybody else, and I'm just grateful, and I hope that we make it very worth your while.
I'm sure you already have. This has been a lot of fun chatting, so really looking forward to continuing the conversation. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doug. It was great meeting you in Lisbon.
It was that was so much fun. Can't wait for next year. But hopefully we'll have a chance to all get together soon in that.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. We'll talk soon.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.